the wise men come back? No? Captain of the guard, you, listen, go to the lieutenant right now. Go to him right now. Tell him to gather his legion. Go to Bethlehem and tell those men to find every child, every boy child under the age of 2. And you tell that legion to dispatch them, to kill them, to leave not one baby. Captain, you go tell the lieutenant to do that. And by the way, Captain, if you see those magi who did not return, especially that the head magi, the kind of quirky, funky one, run him through. I had a weird feeling about them. No one is going to take my kingdom from me. No one. Especially not some little child. What are you looking at? Why are you so shocked? You've been in my court for 30 years. You're all of a sudden squeamish about a little infant blood? Don't look at me like that. You all wanted to be close to King Herod, and all of a sudden, you're squeamish about what we have to do to protect this kingdom. You want to be close to power and authority, but you don't want to be behind the scenes and see how the falafel is made. You want the power and prestige of my throne, but none of the dirtiness. You don't want to get your hands dirty. You've been in my court for 30 years. None of you could do what I've done. None of you have the courage to sit in this throne, to protect what is mine, to protect what is ours. None of you could accomplish what I've accomplished. You're too weak. You don't have the stomach for it. I can see the questions. All of a sudden, you're doubting your king over a few dozen little boys. What kind of king is threatened by babies? What kind of king demands the slaughter of babies? What kind of king is this? These are questions from weak-willed men and women without the fortitude to protect what's theirs. What kind of king is this? Who do you think you are? What kind of king is this? What kind of person are you? What kind of subject are you? Wasn't too long ago you were cheering my name when I built the amphitheater. Wasn't so long ago when you praised my name when I built the port and brought in all the luxuries of Rome. I brought trade to this 2-bit, 1-horse town, and you have the incredulity to question me. Who do you think you are? You enjoy the finest linens, the finest meat, the finest of everything. And you judge me because I'm willing to protect this for you? What kind of king is this? I brought sanitation to Israel. Those crops that you water, where did you get that water from? Did you build those aqueducts? No, I built those aqueducts for you. The garden that you eat from, did you produce that? No, I did. That temple that you worship in with all of its splendor and the marble and the gold, when I got here, that was a rundown shack in remembrance to what was. I brought the cedars of Lebanon. I brought the marble. I brought the gold. The temple you worship in, the splendor, is mine. Who do you think you are? You don't have the courage or the fortitude to protect what's ours. What kind of king is this? What kind of subject are you? Blind, small-minded, ungrateful. The only other king in your illustrious history who comes anywhere near me is King David, your precious King David. He didn't do nearly as much as I've done. You wanted to make Judea great again. I've made it better than it's ever been. David never came close to what I've done. What kind of king is this? Who do you think you are asking questions like that? I'm Herod the Great. What kind of king? We've been doing this for 30 years. You loved me early on. Do you remember when I came riding in with the Roman legion from Galilee? Do you remember when I captained Mark Antony's fortresses and forces, and we took over Jerusalem and kicked the Parthians out? Do you remember how that city reverberated with life for the first time that your parents and grandparents enjoyed? Do you remember what they called me? They called me Herod the Great. I didn't come up with that. You gave me that name. I had your heart. Do you remember the ceremony when I came in? And look, I know Rome installed me as king, but you accepted me as king. You put a crown of olive branch on my head. I still have that in my chambers. I built this city for you. I brought water from aqueducts for you. I did that because I loved you. What kind of king is this? You didn't mind my inscriptions, Herod the Great on everything. You gave me that name. You know, kings, you don't know this about us. We often wonder, is it better to be feared or loved? Early on, I just wanted you to be afraid of how much you loved me. Stop! That's not funny. Who do you think you are? It was easy to see early on what my legacy was going to be. The early days, the honeymoon days. I was going to have a brighter, longer legacy than King David. I built the Herodium, the aqueducts. I reinforced the city. I changed the temple. I was going to be remembered and honored and revered like David. And I'm going to be. I'm going to be. My hard work, this legacy given to me by the gods, it's not yours to take. It's not that baby's to take. It's not mine to give away. It's mine to have forever. What's interesting too, is we're not so different, you and I. I'm the king on the throne, and you are part of the court. We're not so far apart. We're not so unlike. You see, at the deepest parts of your heart too, you want to know, does what I do matter? Is who I am important? Does my work matter? Will I be remembered? You know, we ask these questions because we know this. Death stalks us. It haunts us. It motivates us. It reminds us our time is short. And so we have sleepless nights and restless souls. And we exhaust ourselves, desiring to be remembered, to be significant, to have lives full of meaning, and to be useful. We all ask these same questions. You ask them in those dark, cold nights. You ask them in the lonely times. Will I be remembered? Am I important? Does my life matter? We're not so different, you and I. A little advice, though, from a king who's built everything. From a king who has more money, more power, more military might than anyone in this room. There's never enough. Not enough money, not enough fame, not enough power, not enough influence, not enough goodness. Nothing will satiate your soul. And that's why I can't give this up yet. I've tried everything. I've built, I've protected, I've cobbled together power and influence, and it's not enough yet. But maybe tomorrow. That's why I need this throne. That's why I won't give this throne up. You see, I need this. I need you. I need your love. I need your praise. I can't let this go. Forget that. No one is taking my throne from me, not even a kid. You were in the room when my first wife, Miriam, when I had her executed. She was dead set on sleeping with anyone with more power than me, and now she's just dead. You were there in that room. You applauded it. Do you know why you applauded it? Because it kept you in power. It kept you clothed with the finest things. It kept meat and food on your table. You didn't care that I killed my beloved wife. You said, you have 9 more. That's true, but she was my beloved. You didn't become squeamish. You didn't even falter once when I ordered my 3 firstborn sons from 3 of my wives to death. I discovered they tried to poison me and wanted my throne. It didn't take me a second, and you cheered me on. Why? Because my kingdom is your kingdom. I've given you 30 years of blood, sweat, and tears, and you have the gall today to doubt me. They tried to take what was mine, what was ours, and I just did what you wanted me to do, to protect my kingdom so you could be kept in the fineries of life. It's been said that my livestock, my cows, have longer life expectancies than my sons. It's true. Cows can't take my throne, but if my sons try, they will be executed. I'm just protecting what the gods have given me. No one will take my throne. And you develop a conscience now over some baby boys. Or maybe it's because it might be your baby boys. You didn't care if it was someone else's. Develop a conscience now. I did this for you, for us, for the greatness of what we've developed. All we've been through, all we've seen, all we've endured, all the ups and downs. I sent that legion to Bethlehem to massacre those boys for you as a love expression, as a love letter. Their blood, my covenant to you, that no one will take this throne. No one. It's my love for you. That legion I've sent to remind you of my love. I grow tired of you. You come into my court. You cheer me on as I protect our kingdom. All the while you look down your nose at me. You're not better than me. I'm you with more opportunity, with more power, and a better army. You may say to yourself, well, King Herod, I've never killed babies or wives or husbands. I don't have it in me. Let me ask you a question. I just want you to think for a second. want you to look down into the darkness of your heart where that rage sits, where that anger sits. Sit for a second in that. You think you're so different that you don't have the capacity for what I've talked about. Deep inside you, it's there. You want to be close to the King, but pretend your heart's not black like mine. You have a kingdom to protect like I have a kingdom. It may not have the same breadth or width. It may not have the political influence or the military might. It may not be established like Rome, like mine is. But you have a kingdom you'd fight for. In fact, you have a kingdom I've watched you compromise for. You have a job you want to protect. You have a reputation that's important to you. You have authority you want to hold on to. You have hidden intentions that must stay hidden. You see, I have to live in the public eye, and all of my intentions are laid bare. You have the luxury of keeping your lapses of integrity, you think, private. But I see you. I see how you withhold taxes from Rome. I see you when you walk those dark alleys looking for pleasure. I see the way you mistreat people that work for you to line your pockets. I see the way that you deceive others to consolidate power and influence. I see when you cheer when others fall because it raises your name up. I see how you treat your family in private. You see, you and I, we're not different. Your black-heartedness is seen in private. It's not hidden, though. You can look down at me, but you and I are not that different. Take a look at me. I mean, really look. I have 6 words that are going to trouble you. I am you. You are me. You're not better than me. We're in this together. We have been from the beginning, you and I. We've just done what we needed to do to protect the kingdom. I didn't imagine at any point that I would have to murder baby boys to keep my kingdom. But the moment I decided that no one was taking my kingdom was the moment that I decided to do this. No one is taking this kingdom. No one. I'm not laying down my crown, certainly not for some boy, not for you, not for anyone. This was given to me and I'm going to protect it. Captain of the guard, I want to revise those orders. Not just Bethlehem. I want you to go tell that lieutenant, catch up with him. I want you to tell him in Bethlehem and the surrounding region. Yeah, I know that's going to include Jerusalem. Today, the mothers and fathers of Jerusalem and Bethlehem will weep, but our kingdom will be secure. You will have the finest linen. You will have the nicest things. You will have the influence you have while Jerusalem weeps. That is my promise to you. You see, the kingdom is on my shoulders. It is my rule that will never end. And I won't lay down this kingdom. Not for you, not for that little boy, not for anyone. This kingdom is mine, and I will do what it takes to protect that.